Cully. I'm the news editor at Pandora's Box, the student newspaper at your college. Pandora's Box reports on campus stories as well as community news. It's an information piece for students. We can cover student events to also local events within the community. Pandora's Box was established 40 years ago. It was the second year that your college existed, and it's still going very strong. We're one of the newspapers that won one of the most awards in CUNY, and we've been established here for a long time. We were here when the school was under a lot of distress, when New York State was hitting one of its lowest points economically and had a really bad fiscal year, and the city wanted to shut down the school, and we were here when there was a lot of corruption at York College, and we're still here, and we're gonna stay. One of the stories that I wish that we could have, that I thought was really interesting was Barrington Irving. He was the first black man to fly around the world. I thought that was very interesting. I actually got to meet him. I went to the airport and met him when he arrived into New York. That was fun and very interesting about knowing what drives people to do something like that. As well as another interesting story that was done was on Dr. Muhammad Yunus, who's a Nobel Peace Prize winner who came to our school. He's a 2006 Nobel Peace Prize winner, and he came to our school, and just being even in his presence for someone that's trying to save poor people of the world is it's a great honor to be in his presence. It was great covering his story and all the things that he's doing with York College. And the third story was our editor-in-chief worked on, Juliana Hudson, I think. She broke the story that broke kind of the mold, and it brought back a lot of attention to the newspaper. It was when our student government was stealing funds from students' book bank. And they were stealing money from students and nobody knew about it, and we were kind of the first people to figure it out, first people to hit it. We got a lot of heat for it, but we're still here. We've covered a lot of events that communities have, as well as stuff that is a little sensitive, like the Sean Bell protest that had occurred when a year later after the verdict had been passed, there was protests that were occurring everywhere in New York, and the next day there was a random protest, an unscheduled protest, so the police weren't aware that there was going to be a protest, and you had to be there. There were students coming out of school, literally in the middle of school, and just walking into the streets and going straight to 103rd Precinct to protest against this verdict that had occurred. And that was really important. We really got to the community through that. People knew more about us and knew we were here, and we were here to listen to them, and that was important. We're covering other things right now. As I'm talking to you, there are 2 rapists that are in the area that have not been caught, and that's one of our priorities for the next edition. There's something that we get all the time in the last 2-3 years that I've been in the newspaper. We have students that graduate and come back to us every year and say, can we be a contributing writer? Meaning they want to write a piece so they could have something to take when they're going to grad school. Grad school wants to know if you're published. So if you're interested in furthering your education, or you're interested in a master's or PhD, we're a good way to get some published work in an actual newspaper and get your name in the public eye. As well as it's a place where you can develop your writing skills. You don't have to be the best writer when you start, but you can be when you finish. And we do also graphics, layout artist for the newspaper, as well as we have photographers, so and we have marketing and business, so you don't have to necessarily be a journalism major to work with the newspaper. You just have to have a lot of drive, and you have to be willing to do the work, and in a timely fashion. As long as you can put in the time and the effort and you can meet deadlines, we're here to work with you, regardless of what it is. Our office is in room 2C13, and I'm here from 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night every day. So you can come in here anytime to ask questions. You can drop by. If we're not, if there's no one in the office, that means we just stepped out for a moment. You can always come back. Someone's always here.